It's all about adult beverages today as we wrap up our special brunch series with a candied maple bacon Bloody Mary, as well as an eye-opening Brazilian Beam Espresso Martini. Step up to the bar right here on the Moonshine Place Kitchen. So welcome to our final installment of our special brunch series, and today it's all about adult beverages. And as you heard, my oven just beeped, it's all preheated, and we're getting ready to get going right now on some candied bacon that we're going to need for our Bloody Mary, which we'll be mixing up in a little while. But first things first, I went out and I bought our favorite bacon, the Applewood smoked bacon, which we really like. And all we're going to do is we're going to take some Florida Crystals pure cane sugar. Now you can use brown sugar, you can use maple syrup. It doesn't really matter what you use. You can even use white sugar, but I prefer something more of this, of this flavor for the bacon. The white sugar doesn't really cut the mustard for me. And all you're going to do is dredge the bacon in this sugar, just like this. Make sure you get a lot of sugar on it. And we're going to, you can pat it in a little bit. And all we're going to do is lay a couple of slices of bacon right on our sheet, which we've put a cooling rack in, and I've put some foil on the bottom of the sheet just to make sure that any of the sugar that melts down on the rack itself, the aluminum rack, that the pan, that it doesn't stick to it. Okay, so I'm just going to prepare, let's say 2 or 3 of these, so you get the idea. We're only going to make 1 drink today. And with this, we're going to get this stuck right in the oven. Just bear with me one moment. I'm going to try and make this video move along a little quicker. We've been working to try and expedite our videos a little bit, but we do cook these live right in front of you, and we're trying to go through the whole process when we're doing this, so you really see what it would be like to do in your own kitchen. I realize our videos are a little bit longer. I've thought about doing some of these 60-second shorts that they're now doing on YouTube, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to meet what we're about. I'm not saying I won't do these 60-second shorts at some point, but as long as we're doing these cooking shows, I'd really prefer to cook them just the way you would do it at home and deal with the same things that you would do. Okay, so there you see it. We got 3 pieces of bacon covered in our sugar, and right in the oven it goes. I've preheated the oven to 325 on convection bake. I don't know how long it's going to take. You're going to have to check your own bacon for Christmas and how it's all going to feel to you. I'm going to cook this along for about 10-15 minutes, see if it's crisped up. If it is, we'll pull it out and we'll be good to go. Come on back in 1 minute. It's going to be fast today. Okay, welcome back. So we're just about ready to pull our candied bacon right out of the oven, and let's go do that right now and see how it's looking. It's been roughly 10, maybe 12 minutes. Let's take a look. Now, once again, I do like to start off with the smoked bacon to begin with, and that looks pretty good. As you can see, the sugar is melted very nicely on the bacon. The bacon is cooked. You can't do this in a pan. There's no way that you can do this in a pan because the bacon will curdle up. It'll look like bacon you'd have with bacon and eggs. In this case, you really need to lay it out on a rack like this and do it this way. But you can see the sugar has all melted in. There's a couple of, there's a little bit of sugar here that hasn't quite, a couple of crystals that haven't melted down, but they will as it's sitting here. So just let this cool on its own. Give it a few minutes to let it cool down on its own. And we're going to get ahead and start making that Bloody Mary in just a little while, and we'll pick up right then. Don't go away. Come right back. We're going to make this drink. And welcome back, and we'd like to welcome you to the Moonshine Place bar, which is outside Lanai. We've got a beautiful wet bar here. You haven't seen this yet on the show, but we have some wonderful get-togethers here and a really nice bar that we've built out here, and it's a very cozy place to be, especially at night. Anyway, let's get to putting this Bloody Mary together. So it's very, very simple to actually put this together once you've got the bacon made. And it all starts with couple of ice cubes. Okay, throw a couple of ice cubes in our mixer here. Okay, we're going to go with a little bit of vodka. So we're going to go 1 ounce of vodka. Now you could cheat a little, put a little extra if you want, but we'll go at least an ounce. Maybe I'll give just a hair more. Like a little extra vodka, okay? Then we've got 1 small can of V8 juice. V8 juice, all right? So we're going to get that in there. All right? Stick that right in. Okay? Then about roughly a teaspoon or so of maple syrup. I like to use pure maple syrup from Maine. Okay, so we're going to put maybe about a teaspoon of that in there. It's not going to hurt. A little more sweetness, all right? Get rid of that. A little bit of Liam Perrine's Worcestershire sauce. You get a little shot of that in there. Okay. Of course, you got to have some hot sauce. I like Cholula. We get a little shot of that in there. Okay. Maybe a little bit more than a shot. Make it a little spicy. You know, some of these drinks you really want to have a little spice, a little kick to them. We're going to add some salt. Not a lot, but a little salt. Just a pinch of salt. Sea salt. A little pepper. I always like to put extra pepper in everything. You cover that up. I'm going to shake that. Get that shook up a little bit. It's always fun to shake. Now, in our serving glass, we'll take another couple ice cubes. We'll put 3 ice cubes in this one. Okay. Get the lid off of that. Get this poured right into our glass. Absolutely looks beautiful. Okay. And just about right. Okay. So we're done with that. In, nice stalk of celery. Got to have that. There's our candied bacon. Oh, let me tell you, the candied bacon looks good. Then a little spigot of rosemary. Right, rosemary. I couldn't think of the word. Sorry about that, folks. A little rosemary. We'll stick that with the bacon. And then a couple of olives and a little onion. I'm sorry, a little lemon, a couple of olives. And there you go. Beautiful drink. I'll stick this up here for you guys. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful Bloody Mary. That's a maple bacon Bloody Mary. That's a beautiful drink for your breakfast. Just a beautiful thing. And I think we'll enjoy that in a minute. Don't go away. Come back because we got an espresso coffee that's going to knock your socks off. Come right back with us. And welcome back. We are ready to go with this Brazilian bean espresso martini. It's a wonderful thing. So first thing we got to do is we got to make some coffee. So let's get to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to grind beans fresh. I make coffee every single morning by grinding my beans fresh. I don't see any other way to do this. We're going to make 4 cups of coffee. So it'll be the equivalent of 2 tablespoons per cup of whole bean. So I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon of creamy French vanilla. And then, or not 2 tablespoons. And then we're going to go with 6 tablespoons of a special brew that I get from a place called Jaú, Brazil, which we visit each year, a coffee plantation in Jaú, Brazil. And it's a private plantation where they grow their own beans, obviously, and they'll roast them dark just for me. I ask them to roast them dark each time. It's a really special brew, but you can do this with any espresso bean you want. I just happen to be able to get this coffee directly from Brazil. My wife Silvana is from Brazil, so it makes it very convenient. So anyway, let's start getting this all ground up. If I can reach in here without knocking everything over. Another thing too is I like to grind it fairly fine. Okay, So we'll get this ground up. All right, all set. All right, so I'll unplug this. I've had the experience of having hit the button while the top is off of this grinder at the wrong time, and it ends up everywhere in the house. So let's get this put right in, okay, right into our pot. And if you haven't noticed, we're percolating. I don't drip coffee. I don't make my coffee by drip machine at all. I never did. I just don't particularly care for that flavor when that happens. I like percolated coffee. I think it just does a better job with the coffee. As a matter of fact, I'm using this electric percolator right now outside. Many times inside, I'll use a glass, a Pyrex percolator to make my coffee. So there you have it, folks. The coffee's on. That'll brew up. We'll get through that whole process. Once it's brewed up, I'm going to transfer that to a measuring cup, and I'm going to cool that right down. It'll help if I cool this off before we start to actually make the drink. But before I do that, I'm going to add sugar to taste to the coffee while it's cooling so that the sugar gets melted into the coffee before we use it in the martini. Won't go away. We're going to be doing this very soon. Come on back. And we're back. So let's get together and let's get this martini made. Come on. So all we really got to do here is just mix a couple of ingredients and we're good to go. So let's once again throw a couple of ice cubes in our shaker, okay? And then we're going to add 3 ounces of our coffee, okay, our espresso coffee that we mixed up. We're going to go ahead and add 2 ounces of vodka. Okay, and roughly about 3/4 of an ounce of Kahlua. You don't have to use the Kahlua if you don't want to. I like it, adds a little bit of flavor myself. So we're going to flip this over, and we're going to add about 3/4 of an ounce of Kahlua. Just enough. Okay, it adds a nice little flavor to the martini. There we go. All right, so now what we're going to do, if we get the top on straight, I don't get it everywhere, we'll shake that up really nice. Bring our martini glass over. In this case, you really want to shake this. You really, really want to shake this. And don't forget we added a little bit of sugar after we made the coffee before we cooled it. I took the coffee, I put it in a measuring cup. I dropped that into a bowl of ice with water, cooled that off. It cooled off in about 10 minutes, but we put the sugar in beforehand. And once again, we used the Florida sugarcane sugar, which has just a wonderful flavor in coffee and drinks. Okay, we're good to go here. So what we're going to do now is crack that. Oh, I am a big connoisseur of coffee, and boy, does that smell good. Does that smell ever so good. Look at that. Look at that. You talk about a beautiful thing. There's a beautiful thing, okay? Get some of that beautiful foam on top. That, my friends, is a beautiful, beautiful thing, okay? Now, what we're going to do at the very last second here, before we actually serve it to our guests, let's bring this over, is we're going to drop a couple of vanilla coffee beans right in the top for a little bit of ornament. We'll put them right over here in the corner. Oh, I missed, but there's a couple there. We'll throw this one in. Right there. I'll throw another one in. I like the way they look. We'll get rid of that guy. And there you have it. We want to thank you very, very much for following our brunch series. We've gone through a couple of dishes you can make at home. Today we covered the adult beverages. It's been a fun deal to do. And we're really looking forward to our next series or next shows that we're going to do. Hang in there. We got a little following going. Hang in there with us. We're going to keep working at this. If you have any suggestions, let us know, and we'll come up with a way to cook it. And if we don't, we'll make it up anyway. Okay? We'll see you next time.